Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, how are ya? I'm AJ Thouvenot. Thank you so much for joining me here on Did We Make Ourselves Clear? I've been invited today to talk about the Met Gala and Spring 2022 trends. So we're going to cover both of those things today, talk a little bit about some of the crazy fashion of the Met Gala, history of that, and then transition to talking about things that you can wear practical in your wardrobe from 2022. So first off, we're going to talk about the Met Gala. The Met Gala is an annual fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It is hosted by Anna Wintour, and it's been hosted by her since 1995. It's where they unveil their annual fashion exhibition for the year. And so they invite everyone to come there for this charity event. They are dressed by designers in couture and then go to a special party where there's a cocktail event. And then they also have a special musical performer. So this year, after they entered the Met Gala, they went and had a performance by Lenny Kravitz and Casey Musgraves toward the new fashion exhibition, which is In America, an anthology of fashion. And that is a display of fashion throughout the ages of America. And then they sat down to an exclusive dinner. So we kind of know that happens inside of the Met Gala. We haven't really seen a lot of pictures because there's actually a lot of rules that go into the Met Gala. Number one rule is that there's no selfies at the Met Gala. Now, this is a rule that obviously celebrities don't follow. They take pictures inside the Met Gala. We see them on social media. I don't think you can stop celebrities from doing what they do best, which is trying to get attention. So we do have some photos from inside the Met Gala, but Anna Wintour does forbid it. She does not like photos, no selfies in particular. She doesn't like those at all. She wants to encourage people to talk and get to know each other. She also has the rule that there is no publicist. So celebrities have to be there without a team. That means that they don't have any kind of handlers, people helping them with hair and makeup and hold things. So I think it's kind of, she wants a natural environment where they kind of interact with each other organically, which I think is kind of cool that she keeps it like that so that they have to kind of be themselves. No smoking is another rule. That one seems pretty practical. You can't smoke anywhere in New York. Celebrities do flaunt this rule. Apparently, there's lots of rumors about celebrities smoking in the bathroom and the Met getting very upset about it over the years. So I think that's kind of funny. You know, I used to smoke, so I know how it goes, but I don't think I could do it in the Met. I would feel way too self-conscious around all the art. Speaking of, there's also no children allowed, which I guess has to do with that it's kind of just a high-profile cocktail hour, so not really an event for children. And when Tora says no kids, that's just the rule. She also has a rule about the food, that there's no ugly food allowed. So you can't have any food that has parsley or onion or anything that gets stuck in your teeth. She also has a very exclusive seating chart. She doesn't see people next to each other who are spouses. She tries not to see people next to each other who have attended multiple times next to people they already know. And then they also have designers that have tables of their own guests. So Anna Wintour will invite some guests, and then designers also get to invite their own guests who are then vetted by her as well. Guests, according to the New York Times, pay $30,000 a piece for a ticket. So it is a big fundraiser for the museum and the costume wing of the museum. And so celebrities, I guess, are doing this type of event that can kind of feel like, you know, a little out of touch, but it is for charity, so it's not like they're doing this all just to celebrate themselves. So there is a side to it that it is bringing art to people, bringing fashion as art to people, and putting it on display where anybody can access it, which I think is cool. But the big event of the Met Gala isn't actually what happens inside, it's the entrances when everybody comes in. So that's what we're going to talk about, are the looks today. So I kind of picked some of my favorites. We're going to start off with Jasmine Took's. I just picked this because I love the color of this dress, and I think she looks great in it. I think her skin looks amazing. It's also one of the big trends we're going to get into later, which is this green color, which is going to be everywhere. I think she looks great in it. My only kind of criticism of that is I wish she hadn't worn the glove. I don't think that she necessarily needs that. I think that it would have looked just as sleek without it, but she looks great, and I love that look. My other look that I really liked was Olivia Rodrigo in Versace. This is just because I'm a sucker for anything iridescent, and I love the little kind of pixie touch in her hair. I think she looks really cool. She's, you know, a young artist, and I think that she really embodied who she was and still showed up looking high fashion and really cool. That was kind of a trend this year, is that more celebrities showed up kind of in less crazy couture, I guess you would say, which was kind of disappointing, but also I think means that we have a lot more looks that are kind of practical and maybe could be translated into real clothes. I do think that maybe they were all trying to do something different and ended up doing the same thing this time, which is kind of interesting. But most of my favorite looks are actually a little bit more practical. The next one is actually one that's kind of a bit of both. It's something that I think pushes the envelope and is cool, but also something that is high fashion. Cardi B in Versace, she also showed up in a car that matched the dress, which Donatella Versace, because Cardi B knows how to make an entrance. It's nearly a mile-long chain that was hand-sewn together to make the dress, and she showed up running on the car, fully gilded out. I think that she's one of the people who really kind of got on theme with the gilded glamour and did a full gold look. Lots of metallic, definitely at this year's Met Gala. So I really like that one. I thought it was fun, and I love when anyone makes an entrance. Speaking of making an entrance, we've also got Kendall Jenner in Off-White. This is one that I couldn't pass up talking about because it's all over the internet and getting memed all over the place for all kinds of different reasons. And it's because some people think it's great and cool, and some people think it's kind of just a mismatch. So I actually like a lot of things about this. I like the idea of taking a streetwear thing like a hat and making it formal, like a baseball cap. I also really like the bottom of the dress. I think it's cool. It's interesting that it's almost bridal, though. I'm not sure what kind of that's all about, but Off-White is also just one of those labels that will mix streetwear and couture fashion, and so it's very on brand for them to do a ball cap kind of veil. I felt like that was the one thing that stood out for me where I'm like, yeah, that's neat. No matter how I feel about it, I like that. Next, we've got the other Kardashians. We're going to hit a couple of them in a row. We've got Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker in Tom Brown. Anyone who's familiar with Tom Brown would know that these are very Tom Brown looks. These also do kind of deconstructed suiting looks. I think Travis is really cool. I think that's an interesting way to interpret a gilded glamour kind of party, to do a deconstructed kind of cravat look. I don't necessarily Kourtney's works as well for her. I think it's kind of an example of somebody picking an outfit that they like that maybe wasn't perfect for them, but it was her first time at the Met Gala, so hopefully she showed up, followed all the rules, and that she can come back next year and kill it, because I feel like that Travis did a really good job this year. So next one is going to be another Kardashian. This is Khloe Kardashian and Moschino. I picked this one just because, again, lots of glamorous chain. I love that kind of look. I also feel like that look nailed the theme. And I think that she just looks great. I think her hair looks really cool. She did kind of a minimal look with this kind of overdone dress. And the coat looks cool. That's kind of why it was one of my favorites. I thought that she just styled it really, really well. Next one is one of my personal heroes, Gwen Stefani. I had to cover Gwen because I just think she's a cool girl. She always looks like she's having fun without trying too hard. And she looks like she's having fun in this dress. Big bright color, also kind of a green, if you notice. And I think she just looks like she's having fun, and it's really on her personality to wear neon. I like the idea of doing a neon evening gown. I think it really stands out, and I love that about it. So next one, we got a couple coming up. This is Joshua Jackson and Jodie Turner-Smith. I picked this one. They're both in Gucci because I just think that as a couple, they nailed the theme and look great. I think that her skin looks amazing in that dress, the contrast of the silver. And I think that he just looks really traditional, and that they nailed that gilded glamour. So I picked them as my favorites. We're going to move on to Questlove. I picked Questlove just because I personally love this coat and will wear this jacket. I think it's a cool way to take on men's formal wear to kind of give it this like casual feel, but also keep it upscale. And it's just very, I feel like, fits his personality. He looks like he's comfortable in it and that he feels good in it. So that always sells the garment for me. Next one we got is Moschino, and this is Simone Ashley in Moschino. I think that she just looks really great. Also rocking one of the trends for spring, which is midriff. I really this one particularly because I think that the hair is really, really cool for a gilded glamour to do kind of that slick back hair where all the focus is on just kind of the sparkle. I just think she looks amazing. Her eyes are incredible and captivating. So she always kind of catches my attention. She's wonderful. So we'll move on to Chloe Bailey in Area, I think is the next one. Yes, I picked this one because Area is known for pushing the boundaries and doing unique stuff. If you've never heard of Area, check them out on Instagram. It's like clothes made in outer space. Some of the coolest stuff. She's a big risk taker on the red carpet all the time. I think she did it again. I think she looks really cool. I think that she had one look that's unique and a silhouette that I've never seen before. So, you know, one of my favorites just because I love when anybody does something that I feel like I've never seen in fashion. I think that's getting harder and harder to do. So next one is also kind of a fun one. This is Jared Leto and Alessandro Michele Gucci. They dressed up as each other essentially for the event. And so I just picked this one as one of my favorites because the Met Gala feels kind of stuffy from the outside when I look at it, but I like that there's people showing up and kind of having fun and having a good time with it. So that made my list. We're going to move on to some of the ones that I think are also some of my favorites of the night. Gigi Hadid in Versace. This one I love because I don't even understand what's going on with that coat. I can't figure out what it's made out of. It's amazing. I also think that she kind of looks like a Final Fantasy character, but in like the best possible way. So I love that about it. It's futuristic, but also just looks like cool. So that was something that I just like. I was like, I got to talk about that jacket. Next one is Hailey Bieber in Saint Laurent. I picked this one just because I think she looks beautiful. You know, pulling off all white is something that is, I think, difficult to do. I like the feathers on it. There's kind of a feather trend that's happening for spring a little bit, so she kind of leaned into that. I just thought she looked really pretty, really natural, so I picked her as one of my favorites of the night. Next one is going to be Jacob Elordi from Euphoria. He's wearing a Burberry suit. This one I love just because it's got this little details when you look close on it where it's got these little jewel kind of epaulets. And I just think that's a unique way to kind of take a suit and do something different with it without doing something that necessarily is going to like be unflattering or like make you kind of look weird. Messing with suiting is hard because suiting is so symmetrical. And so I just thought that was a unique way to do a suit. I would probably wear a jacket with some, black jewels on it. I think I'd do that. Next one is Madeline Pesh in Moschino from Riverdale. This was one of my favorites just because I think it's a really unique color to do for a gown. I think that it's a really unique fabric to do for a gown. Lots of Moschino at this year's Met Gala, so that's another one where they kind of nailed it, I think. I like that sleeve on it. She looks amazing. We're gonna move kind of quick here through the rest. I've got Billie Eilish in Gucci. This one I picked because she nailed the theme. I think she looks, great, has that gilded glamour for sure, like took it literally, and I think pulled it off really well. I also kind of like the fact about Billie Eilish that she, anywhere she goes, that she kind of like looks like she already wants to leave, and so she's got this vibe of like, she's already over it, which I think is really fun. I don't think she's actually like that, because she obviously wouldn't get invited anywhere, but having that air about her, I think is kind of fun. I think the next one we got is Megan Thee Stallion in Moschino again. Another gold look. Moschino cape to put everybody fully gilded out. This one I picked because I always think that just Megan has such a big presence and just like looks flawless. Like there's never anything out of place with her. And then she's got this like feather jacket on top that looks like individual gold feathers that I just thought was really unique. And so that one caught my attention. It was one of my favorite looks. Next one is the talk of the evening. As always, Kim Kardashian in Jean-Louis. Also, famous dress sketch by Bob Mackie, worn by Marilyn Monroe, is considered the most expensive dress in the world, valued at over $4 million. So people had a lot of opinions on this. Some people felt like it was inappropriate for her to wear the dress, and I don't want to touch on a whole lot of that. I do think that Kim Kardashian wearing the most expensive dress in the world and making a big controversy about it is very her, and very kind of on theme in a weird way. But I will say, if anything, everyone got what they wanted out of it, because her and Ripley's Believe It or Not, who owned the dress, both got us all to talk about it, where it's at, how much it cost. So either way, she had a big moment with the dress. I do think in the photos from the front, it looks great. Apparently, it didn't fit correctly, and people want to criticize that. For me, it's more that I think she got exactly what she wanted out of it. So the more that we criticize it, the more that like you're kind of feeding into it a little bit. So Kim is good at making a moment. I think that she looks great. I wish that she had done something different with her hair. I want to move on from that one to my favorite of the whole night, which is Kaya Gerber from American Horror Story. Also the daughter of Cindy Crawford, wearing Alexander McQueen. I just thought this is a really cool dress. I think that she looks really natural. I think she's also rocking one or two some of the bigger hair and makeup trends coming up here, which is to move away from super overdone hair and makeup towards something a little more natural coming up. So I think that she nailed it on all fronts. I think she looks amazing. And then this is my favorite men's look of the evening, and that's Shawn Mendes, just because I want the jacket. I think it's cool. I think it's a unique take on menswear. And I think that he also kind of nailed this kind of another era theme, but mixed it with something modern. So those are my takes on the Met Gala. Hopefully I didn't say anything that's going to make anyone too opinionated. I'm always trying to talk about fashion in a way that's just accessible, because I think it's fun. So I'm going to move on to talk about spring trends for 2022. So 2022 spring trends, we're going to talk about a lot of different things here. First thing I want to say about trends is that the one thing about trends is they're just a new idea. Nothing that says you have to try out a trend. The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to say, this isn't for me, and not do it. But hopefully this will give you some new ideas or some new things to try. The one big thing across the board for this year is that there's a big resurgence of Y2K era fashion. So this is around the year 2000. So big baggy pants are back in. That means flare leg pants, baggy cargo pants, all kinds of shapes and pants. And I think part of this has to do with, after being in lockdown for the past couple of years, people wearing a little more comfortable clothes. Everything has kind of gotten a little bit more relaxed. So you can do them in a distressed denim, you can do them in a suiting, you can kind of do them in whatever you want. Kind of to go with this big volume pants trend, there's also a big handbag trend. So especially for traveling, these are great. Big bags are back. Just an oversized bag where you can put everything in it. Both for men and women, we saw them in both shows. And I think that has to do with, part of it is that traveling, especially in the city, now we carry more and more with us with smartphones and tablets. So a lot of people, want to have something where they can carry everything with them all day. So then we've also got another trend, which is, we talked about a little earlier, which is green is everywhere. Green clothes, green clothes in men and women's collections, kind of in all shades. So there are bright greens and dark forest greens. And then that look you just saw actually embodies two trends, which is green, and our next trend, which is mini skirts, which is going to get a lot of opinions, I'm sure. But mini skirts are back. They were on runways everywhere. It's a very Y2K trend, kind of that distressed denim mini or Paris Hilton kind of a vibe. So that's one that's not going to be for everyone, but I think you will see more of those this season. Next big trend is going to be crochet. Everything. So it's crocheted bags. We saw crocheted skirts, shirts, both for us, men and women. So kind of crocheted vacation shirts and kind of tank top styles are trending for men. Also for women, you've got crocheted tops and dresses. An interesting way to add some texture to your wardrobe while still having something breathable and comfy for springtime. Also going with that vacation vibe, we've got Cuban collar shirts and bowling shirts. This was big last year, and these are going to continue to be big this year. That relaxed vibe kind of fitting into it works well with the oversized pant to have that boxy shape. So I think those are going to continue to be popular. Baggier short styles have also come back into style. I don't know if you're noticing a pattern here. I don't think we're ready to stop relaxing our clothes after lockdown. We've got that going on with shorts for both men and women. That was in both shows. And short lengths vary all over the place this season. I don't think there's a right or wrong. There's a lot of debate on TikTok over short length. It does seem like there's a very kind of retro athletic short trend, but when it comes to the cargo shorts and or kind of your beach and gym wear shorts, it's kind of whatever you feel best in. But we've been all over the board. This is some contradictory because I talked about big bags, but we've got another side of the spectrum, which is mini bags. So two different things going on. And this one particularly showed up in menswear shows. So it's these tiny ID bags, which are basically made to hold a cell phone, your ID, keys, and kind of any other little things you would need. I think part of this has to do with just the changing nature of what we take around with us, and also just our changing views between like what's okay for men to wear, and you've got a lot of guys who are kind of experimenting with style. And so a lot of designers are trying to come up with creative ways to kind of give men a carry-all or something they can carry around that still kind of feels masculine or more guys would wear. Some of us out there will just wear Paris and wear whatever, but there's a big trend now for people to try that who maybe haven't tried it before in styles that would appeal to them. Going along with that is a big trend for men's necklaces and layered necklaces for men. Think Lenny Kravitz, who performed at this year's Met Gala, Shawn Mendes, they do a lot of layered necklaces. And then if layered necklaces aren't for you, there's also a trend for just a big statement necklace. So one solid chain, do it in a color that you like, and you can wear that with either t-shirt, turtleneck, any kind of style you want, and add something that spices up an outfit. I also think necklaces and jewelry are a good way to take something you've worn before and make it look different. So a lot of different styles there to wear necklaces. You can layer them up if you're somebody who likes a little bit more, is more kind of a look. If you're a little more minimalist, you've got like the single chain option. Next, we're going to talk about kind of some sub-trends or growing trends that kind of have an overarching kind of aesthetic. First one we're going to talk about is gorkcore, which sounds really funny, but it stands for good old raisin and peanuts. So it is a camping aesthetic, also called hikercore. It is all about dressing like you are going hiking in the great outdoors, utilitarian cargo shorts, extra pockets, rain slickers, rubber boots. You see Kanye's been wearing the rubber boots. That's kind of a gorkcore thing. And the thing that's funny about this one is it's something that people who are wearing it are some of them people who are, kind of expanding and going out into nature or have been going out into nature, and now there's all these new stylish options. But there's also this side to it where people who don't go into that kind of environment at all are still wearing these utilitarian kind of options kind of everywhere. So if you want to incorporate this into your style, you can always do kind of a puffy vest or those kind of aesthetics, even if you're not necessarily the outdoorsy type. But that is kind of an interesting part of the aesthetic. I think it goes back to the pandemic and us kind of reconfiguring, and people want to be getting back in touch with nature, or at least have the illusion that they are. So I think that's where that one comes from. And it kind of segues into our next one, which is a softer version of the same trend, cottagecore. Cottagecore is very natural aesthetic. There's a lot of berries and fruit, but not tropical fruit. It's got kind of a farm vibe, very soft and romantic. These are kind of those blessed be the fruit dresses that everyone's been making fun of in Target. This is that trend. It is a thing, and it's actually really comfortable and breezy. There's a lot of information. You do it dressed up with a sandal. It's a really relaxed vibe. also kind of has moved into lifestyle too, of this whole kind of cottagecore, holistic kind of life. Going back to that whole really trying to get in touch with nature kind of a thing. Let's move on. We're going to go on to our next one, which is chunky shoes, accessories. We're going to end with all the accessories. So big chunky shoes for men and for women. Women in particular, chunky heels. And also sandals, those flats as well. So if you're not somebody who does a heel, there's going to be wedges, sandals, flats, all kinds of things. It's just kind of a thicker sole or platform sole on everything. So that's going to be for both men and for women. For men, there's also a big sandal trend for men, which is to do kind of fits into that hypercore, gore kind of thing, and to do men's sandals with all kinds of different things. Socks with sandals, as much as it's always been something you're not supposed to do, we're all over the runway. So if you're a guy who wears socks with sandals and your friends have criticized you, you can pull up Fashion Week this year and tell them that you're on trend. I think it's actually something that can add another element to an outfit. And, you know, we all love our slides. They're comfortable and it's easy to get them on and off. So it was only a matter of time before that made its way into the mainstream. Finally, big accessory for the season is bucket hats. This is for men and women. This ties back into what I said about that Y2K trend. It also ties into both core, cottagecore, so it's kind of all over the place. Depending on the material, it kind of fits all the different trend aesthetics of the season. This is one of those trends where, remember when I said you have to know when a trend doesn't work for you? This is one that I will admit doesn't work for me, so I don't do it. But if you are somebody who wants to rock that bucket hat, now is the time. Or try something new to kind of keep yourself out of the sun. That's going to be kind of an overarching thing, I think, in fashion going forward here too, is that there's a lot of different styles and a lot of different options at the same time. We're moving past this idea that one way of dressing is the only way to dress, because I think the internet has opened us up to so many more ways that people dress, and we're much more connected. So thank you again for joining me until I talk about fashion. Hopefully you'll join me again so you can stay connected and learn more about I don't know, something about fashion. Hopefully you learned something new today, or found out something about spring trends that you feel like you want to try out. Quick reminder that membership to our podcast is on Patreon at Did We Make Ourselves Clear? Or you can subscribe and turn on notifications if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and I hope to see you all again. Thanks a lot.